Listen, if you're watching this, chances are you've recently lost someone you love deeply.
Maybe your husband, your partner in crime, your coffee compagnon, your couche canapé.
And if that's true, first, I want you to take a breath. Because I know from years of walking alongside folks just like you, that this kind of loss doesn't just break your heart, it breaks your sense of direction.
One moment, life is familiar.
The next, even the cereal aisle feels overwhelming.
Now, nobody on you a guidebook titled How to be a widow and not lose everything.
But I wish they did. Because there are a few quiet traps that catch so many women off guard, not because they weren't smart or capable, but because grief fogs our thinking, and some decisions just can't wait. That's why we're here today. I want to walk you through 6 of the most common mistakes I've seen widows fall into, and more importantly, how to gently sidestep them. Some of these might surprise you.
One might sting a little.
But they all come from a place of care. And if just one helps you avoid heartache, then this little talk is worth it. Alright, let's begin. First up, let's talk about something that sounds boring, but can turn into a full-blown disaster if ignored. I'm talking about updating your legal paperwork. I know, you probably didn't wake up this morning thinking, oh goody, time to review my beneficiary forms. But hear me out. When someone passes, their name doesn't magically vanish from all your shared documents. Their name might still be listed on your will, your retirement accounts, your insurance policies, even your home title. And if that's the case, well, let's just say I've seen some heartbreaking messes. I once worked with a woman named Jean. Her husband had passed 2 years earlier. She hadn't updated a thing. Too painful, she said.
Totally understandable.
But when Jean unexpectedly got sick and passed, her old will, written 25 years ago, still named her husband as primary beneficiary. Which, obviously, couldn't happen.
So everything got stuck in court.
Her kids had to fight tooth and nail just to get access to her accounts. It took over a year and cost thousands.
You don't want that.
So here's the solution. Block out one quiet afternoon. Get a friend, a cup of tea, and go through everything. Wills, powers of attorney, bank accounts, insurance, retirement savings. Update every name, every form. If it feels confusing, ask for help from someone who's truly qualified, not just your nephew who once took a business class. You're not doing this because you're cold-hearted. You're doing it because you're responsible. Because you love your family. And because this gives you peace of mind. That's not paperwork, it's protection. Now, let's move to the second big one. Taking a big payout all at once.
Life insurance. Pension.
You might suddenly see a check in the mail with more zeros than you've ever seen on paper. And in that moment, it can feel like a little bit of hope.
Maybe I'll be okay, you think.
Maybe I can take that trip. Maybe I'll give the grandkids a boost. Maybe I'll finally redo the kitchen.
It feels like a blessing.
But I want you to think of it more like a responsibility. That lump sum? It's not a gift. It's a stand-in for years of income you'll never receive again. And once it's gone, it's gone. And believe me, there are always people ready to help you spend it. Some with good intentions, some not so much. Let me tell you about Margaret. She received $100,000 from her husband's pension payout. She gave 10 grand to her daughter to start a business, bought a new car, took a cruise. 3 years later, she had almost nothing left, and she was terrified. But here's the thing most people don't know, you don't have to take it all at once. Ask about your options. Monthly payments.
Annuity.
A structured plan that protects your future and keeps you from falling off a financial cliff. So before you cash that check, sit down with a professional. One who's licensed, experienced, and not selling you a timeshare. Because this money was meant to carry you, not collapse under you. On to mistake number 3. And this one's personal. Giving money, or your name, away out of guilt or loneliness. Let's be honest. When your house suddenly feels empty, your heart starts looking for something to hold on to. A child says they need help with a loan. A grandchild wants to start a business.
You're a craving connection, so you say yes.
Because you love them. Because you want to be needed. Because you think, if I don't help, who will? But here's the catch. When you co-sign a loan, it's your name on the hook. If they miss a payment, it's your credit, your savings, your peace of mind at risk. I've seen too many grandmas lose their homes because someone else dropped the ball. And gifts?
Generosity is beautiful.
But too much, too soon can hurt you and the relationships you're trying to protect. Because when money becomes the glue holding people together, things can turn sticky fast. And when the money's gone, those people aren't always around.
So before you give, breathe.
Ask yourself, is this a gift from wisdom or a bandage for grief? If your husband were beside you, what would he say? You've spent your whole life taking care of others. Now, it's your turn.
Protect your future.
Then if you want to give, you'll be giving from a place of strength, not fear.
Let's talk about mistake number 4, selling the house too fast. Now, I get it. The house feel different now.
His slippers by the door. That chair by the window. Every room is a memory. And grief?
It makes the walls feel too loud and the silence too deep.
So people say, you should sell. Too much space for one person.
Go somewhere smaller.
And maybe you think they're right. But here's what I've seen over and over again.
Women selling too soon.
Rushing into decisions during the most vulnerable time of their life. And regretting it later. You don't need to pack up your whole life just because it hurts right now. Sometimes, you just need to rearrange a room.
Repeint a wall. Start a small garden. Let the house evolve with you.
Give yourself a year. Let the fog lift. If you still want to move after that, fine. But do it on your terms, with clear eyes and a steady heart. Mistake number 5, trusting the wrong people with your money. Now, this one sneaks in quietly.
You're tired.
There's paperwork everywhere. You miss having someone to share the load. And then someone steps in. A neighbor.
A distant cousin.
A cheerful financial advisor who calls at just the right time. They say, don't worry, I've got this. And you want to believe them. But not everyone who shows up has your best interest at heart. Some people see a grieving widow as an easy target. That's harsh, but it's real.
So let me be clear.
Don't hand over your accounts.
Don't sign anything you don't understand.
If someone truly wants to help, they'll be patient. They'll explain. They'll put it in writing. Ask for credentials. Get a second opinion. A third if you need it. Your money is not just money. It's your future, your independence, your security. You don't need to become a finance wizard overnight. But you do need to protect what you and your husband built together. It's your right. And now, the last mistake. Pulling away from people who care.
After the funeral, after the sympathy cars stop, idźcie.
At first, that quiet might feel like a break. But pretty soon, it starts to feel like a wall. You stop answering calls. Stop going to lunch. Tell yourself, I just need more time. But time alone can turn into loneliness. And loneliness, especially for older adults, is no joke. It's linked to depression, higher risk of memory loss, even physical illness. That's not just me saying it, that's decades of medical research. So I want to gently remind you, connection is part of healing. Even if you're not ready to laugh again. Even if you cry at the mention of his name. That's okay. Just let someone sit beside you while you cry.
Start small.
Answer one phone call. Say yes to one visit. Join a group, even if you leave early. Let people back in. You don't have to be cheerful, just present. Healing doesn't mean forgetting.
It means living again.
Even if it's slow. Even if it's awkward.
Alright, my friend.
If you've made it this far, you're not just surviving, you're trying. And that matters more than you know.
Losing your partner change everything.
But it doesn't take away your wisdom. Or your worth. Or your right to live this next chapter with grace. And yes, even joy.
You're still here.
And that means your story isn't over. It's just turning the page. If this talk helped even a little, would you consider sharing it? Maybe a sister, a friend, someone else quietly carrying this same weight. You never know who needs a voice of calm right now. And if you feel like it, drop a comment below. What's one piece of advice your husband gave you that you still carry today?
Idée love to hear it.
Until next time, rest when you need to, reach out when you're ready, and remember, you are stronger than you think. And you, my dear, are not alone.